year, Sir-Jabari Rice. But on the other side of the ledger, Chris, how's Oklahoma State going to pull up the upset tonight?
It's got to be a defensive game, Rich. Low possession, a lot like that January 7th game in Stillwater. Oklahoma State lost that game, but it was low possession, low scoring, a real grind fest. They got to make it really tough to score in the paint and at the rim.
Texas did sweep the season series, winning in Stillwater and in Austin. Your officials tonight: Kip Kissinger, Marcus Pettigrew, Amy Bonner. The 2-seed Longhorns in their white uniforms, and it's the Road Blacks for the Cowboys. And we are underway. Dylan Dessou controls the opening tip. So Chris Budden told us no Timmy Allen. How does that affect the Longhorns?
Well, it affects them a ton on the offensive end, Rich. His post touches calm them down. They play a lot through him in the post.
Scramble for the loose ball. Cisse sits on the ball, and we have our first stoppage of play. And speaking of Moussa Cisse, he didn't play in either of those two games.
He didn't, and they still, Oklahoma State had 12 blocks in that first matchup. Gives him a ton of rim protection and real work on the glass. He's an outstanding rebounder on both ends.
Here's the aforementioned Marcus Carr. Rice, that shot fake, and he gets it to go.
He has played like a starter for them all year. Starters minutes, sixth starter coming off the bench. They started him on the block. Again, a place where they put Timmy Allen a lot. And then there he already shows you that shot fake and its impact.
Most points per game of anybody who hadn't started a game this season until tonight.
It's one of the best pickups out of the portal, and he's come off the bench all year.
Here's John Michael Wright. Got it blocked from behind and stolen away by Tyreek Smith. And Cisse with the ball and 2 feet in the paint gets fouled. So Moussa Cisse will step to the line. A look at that Texas starting lineup. Hunter and Marcus Carr, a dangerous backcourt. And now Sir-Jabari Rice will be inserted into that lineup. Dylan Mitchell, a fabulous freshman, but they don't count on him too much.
They don't, and teams in the league have really stopped guarding him. He's not a real offensive threat, and so teams are using the guy defending him as a helper. He's going to have to play more minutes, though. He's going to have to be active on the glass, that activity guy, be an athlete.
Cisse misses the first, just a 42% free throw shooter, but he goes 1 for 2. So you got to count that as a win for Mike Boynton and company. There's some token pressure.
It's not exactly token. They were trapping a little bit out of that. You know, I think Oklahoma State's going to throw everything at the wall tonight defensively. You got nothing to lose.
Carr into the teeth of the Cowboys defense and draws the foul.
You know, you like to see Marcus Carr be aggressive. You know, as we mentioned at the top, his shooting numbers are down, shooting 25% from the field in their last 3 games, only 10 points a game in the last 4. And I think it's the way teams are guarding him, Rich. Teams are doubling him. They've been much more aggressive. And to Marcus Carr's credit, he's made other guys better. He's got 34 assists and only 5 turnovers in the last 7. So he's playing out of those double teams and those aggressive schemes and making other guys around him better. But they're going to need his points, especially with Timmy Allen out.
And surprisingly, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Texas, a mainstay in the top 10 most of this season. And Joe Lunardi says they still have an outside shot at a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Well, if North Carolina has an outside shot, I certainly hope Oklahoma State does.
Here's Tyreek Smith. He was a big energy giver last night.
You said it, big energy giver. 6 offensive rebounds in that game last night. Just a workhorse. And he and Moussa Cisse together form a nice tandem up front.
There's Tyrese Hunter. He's shooting 50% from beyond the arc in his last handful of games. Inside, Cisse, shot fake, and the flush.
That's the other thing he gives you, Rich, is he puts pressure on the front of the rim. There's a gravity to Moussa Cisse when he rolls to the front of that rim. He's a big target, good lob catcher. He expands their offensive arsenal.
Hunter in traffic, tough two. Oklahoma State doesn't score the basketball very well, Chris, but when they are, what are they doing well?
Well, they're taking good shots and taking care of the ball. You know, it's not a real skilled team, but if they're pressing at the rim and they're not settling for threes, plays like this, where you're coming off of screens, they're going to run a lot of that wing ball screen action. And when you got a big athletic target like a Cisse rolling to that front, that's the high percentage stuff Oklahoma State needs. But they got to, it starts with taking care of the basketball.
There's Mike Boynton, 41 years old, 18-7 in the month of March in his time in Stillwater. Pretty impressive. Of course, this Oklahoma State team was not here in Kansas City last year, so itching to make the most of this trip. And Rodney Terry garnering National Coach of the Year awards, and deservedly so.
There's no question. There is no guidebook for what Rodney Terry's had to do this year, taking over for Chris Beard. And I think his players deserve a lot of credit for keeping this thing together, but Rodney Terry and his coaching staff deserve a bulk of that credit as well.
A Naismith finalist for Coach of the Year. Sporting News just named him Coach of the Year just yesterday. Here's Carr out to Rice for three. And Smith tracks it down for the Pokes. Oklahoma State using a bedlam win last night to make their way into the quarterfinals. That one poked from behind by Rice, out of bounds. It'll stay Oklahoma State basketball. Ten on the shot clock for the Cowboys. Here's Asbury. Forced it up, lost the handle, and it's chased down by Jabari Rice. Another three by Hunter. Look out.
You're going to have to stay home on Tyrese Hunter with the way he's shooting it. You can't get caught ball watching, and I know you want to plug, but you've got to be more cognizant of Tyrese Hunter with the way he has shot the ball, particularly from three.
Hunter has scored the last 8 for the Longhorns and gives them a 5-point lead. Smith. Pretty move, but he comes up empty. Carr stops and pops, and Asbury has it.
And that's the shot, you know, the refusal of the ball screen. He got great space when he got into the paint. That's the shot Marcus Carr has hit down for a bulk of the season. He just hasn't been hitting of late.
Line change coming up for the Longhorns on the next whistle. Here's Rice. A blow by, and he missed it off the back iron. Now Bryce Thompson up the left side.
Nice block out by Marcus Carr, getting Tyreke Smith off the offensive glass.
Rice, that patented shot fake. And the backdoor cut goes off the hands of Tyrese Hunter and out of bounds. A timeout on the floor, 14:25 to go. Timmy Allen's boys up by 5 against Oklahoma State. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine, and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night.
I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. One load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Well, in case you missed any of the earlier quarterfinal action from the Big 12 Conference Tournament, where were you? Gabe Kalsher and the Iowa State Cyclones completed a 3-game season sweep of Baylor, 78-72, the final score. And then the second quarterfinal featured #1 seed Kansas, Jalen Wilson, a 20 and 10 double-double. And despite the fact that Bill Self was not on the sidelines, Norm Roberts stepped in, and Kansas advances to the semifinals. With more on the Bill Self story, Chris Budden.
He was not available today to coach, and he's not going to be available the remainder of the tournament. The school announced not long ago while he was dealing with an undisclosed illness. He arrived at the emergency department last night, the school says, and underwent a standard procedure that went well. He is expected to make a full recovery. Bill Self wanted to thank everyone who has reached out. He said, I'm excited to get back to my team in the very near future. As you said, Norm Roberts serving as the interim coach and will continue to do so until Bill Self is back on the sidelines.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. We all wish Bill Self well. We know he's probably watching along with you at home. And a 10-second violation called. You don't see that too often.
You know, I'm glad Coach Self got himself to the hospital. This is a time of year where coaches can be a little bit stubborn about that. I'm glad he's getting great care. He's one of the great people in this profession of coaching. A real genuine man.
Kudos to the KU medical staff as well. Here's Christian Bishop with the ball. Local kid. Grew up in Lee's Summit, Missouri, about 15 minutes from here. 3 on the shot clock. Bishop with the ball. Wow, wild shot. Seen a few of those already.
It's one of those you look to the coach and say, the shot clock was winding down.
Not my fault. John Michael Wright, 51 in black. And Caleb Asbury got Hunter up in the air, and Caleb Asbury will go to the line and shoot 3 free throws.
And you can tell what the scouting report says on Caleb Asbury. This guy, 73% of his shots on the year are threes. That's what he wants. And he's made 12 of them in the last 3 games. Had 7 threes in that win over Texas Tech. I mean, that's what he wants to do. A nice little shot fake to get Tyrese Hunter in the air.
He's one of those guards that's really stepped up for Mike Boyne in the absence of Avery Anderson, who's now missed the last 10 games for the Cowboys. Caleb Asbury averaging 15 a game his last 3.
You know, I think their 2 transfers, Caleb Asbury from Texas State and John Michael Wright from High Point, have had to make 2 real adjustments to their games to play at this level.
In what way?
In that both those guys were asked to score a lot, particularly John Michael Wright. I mean, he's one of the best scorers in that conference in his time at High Point, and he comes here and they've asked him to score the ball. But when he was playing alongside Avery Anderson, it was a little bit of a different vibe. And I think both those guys, Asbury included, Rich, have had to sort of dial it back and find their spots. And I think once Asbury has sort of found his spot, he's had a better understanding of where his shots are coming from.
Asbury had 15 last night. John Michael Wright had 10 in the win over Oklahoma. Bishop tried to muscle it up against Caleb Boone and drew the foul.
You know, when Christian Bishop comes into the game, you know something's going to happen. He may throw one up on a turnaround and hit the top of the shot clock, but he also may grab a big-time offensive rebound. He's just a hard-rocking dude who changes the game with his energy and effort.
Playing in his 156th career Division I basketball game. And look at this list of seniors or super seniors, whatever you want to call them. They've all played a ton of basketball.
It's a lot of basketball.
Just imagine how many points you would have had if you played that many games. Sitting next to a 1,500-point career score. Here's Caleb Boone, left hand, no. Offensive rebound. It's loose, and Texas comes away with it, no whistle.
3 weeks ago, that was an automatic make by Caleb Boone. It's been a puzzle with him the last couple games.
Here's the freshman Arterial Morris with the step back and the air ball. Well, offense has been at a premium. Is it safe to assume, Chris, that that means advantage Oklahoma State right now?
Yeah, in tempo. You know, again, I think the lower the possession this game is, the more it favors Oklahoma State.
Texas, one of the top scoring teams in the conference, but only 11 so far, nearly 8 minutes gone by. Here's a freshman, Keon Williams. Asbury, another shot fake beyond the arc, and he gets fouled again.
I mean, fouling the same three-point shooter twice and a half is never good. But again, that's the attention Caleb Asbury is attracting. That's what he wants. He wants three, and if you're following the scouting report, knowing personnel, you're going to be aggressive on that closeout.
So Asbury is now 4 for 4 from the free throw line with 2 more coming. He only managed 3 points the last time these two teams met.
You know, we've talked a lot about Oklahoma State's defense. Texas needs to, if they want to make a run in the NCAA tournament, they need to establish their defense away from the Moody Center. It is remarkable how much better their defense has been this year at home, and you understand why. The Moody Center's become one of the best environments in college basketball in just 1 year. Gives their defense a ton of energy.
Only 1 loss all year this year at the Moody Center, and that came in that track meet against Kansas State. Now Brock Cunningham. Jabari Rice lines it up, in and out. And Boone has the rebound, and Brock Cunningham commits the foul. It'll be Oklahoma State ball, a chance to gain the lead over 2-seed Texas when we return.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine, and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
Right here, right now.
That was 6-1. Be a player. Drive the big guy. We settle that on him. Come on. God, that's us right now. We can't foul jump shooters right now. He's gotten 2 of those. They got 6 points at the free throw line. We can't get those up. We're not jumpy. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. We're in yellow. We can't foul anymore right now. Look, hey, and we have to be decisive in everything you do down there. Be shot ready. If you're going to drive the ball, be ready to shoot the ball. We don't need oop shots.
That was all access with Rodney Terry. You know, when he took over as the interim head coach, one of his first calls was to Rick Barnes, former Texas head coach, who he was an assistant under. And Barnes' message to him was, listen, you're going to have to steady the waters, and it's going to be difficult because you're going to have to do it with making your own changes, but not too many changes, because otherwise this team's going to think they've been doing it wrong the entire time. You also don't want to come across that you're auditioning for the job. You have an older group. Rely on that. Rely on their voices. And he's done an incredible job doing it this season.
Nearly a shot clock violation for the Cowboys. Good defense from Texas out of that all-access huddle. Here's Carr. Now Mitchell barely takes a shot, misses his first one tonight. Asbury left alone, can't knock it down. The rebound to Bishop.
This is where you miss Timmy Allen, you know, a guy to just kind of settle the team down, throw it to him in that mid post. His shot selection hasn't been good.
Tapped out of bounds. It'll be Oklahoma State basketball.
You know, the other thing too with Allen is he's second on their team in assists. So it's not just the offense he's creating for himself, it's what he's doing for others and the attention he draws.
And he stuffed the stat sheet the last time these teams met. 17 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, to your point, Chris, and 2 steals against the Cowboys. If you're just tuning in, no Timmy Allen tonight for Rodney Terry and the Longhorns. A lower right leg injury. That 3 from Williams off the mark. This has been a defensive struggle so far. No field goals for either team in the last 17 minutes of TV time.
Well, and I love nice pass and nice cuts.
The extra pass, and Cisse will go to the line.
You know, I love what Rodney Terry was saying in that huddle, though, to your point. Like, he's asking these guys to be a player. I think they're bailing out the Oklahoma State defense, which is very good. But you got some long threes. Christian Bishop has taken about 3 bad shots. They're not being aggressive. They're not driving the basketball, so they're getting their butts kicked at the free throw line. And the shot quality hasn't been good.
Cisse makes the first. He's got 4. We saw much of the same last night. The Sooners tried to drive. They were rejected and walled up, and then they just stopped going inside. Two for 2 from Cisse that time. He has 5. That puts the Cowboys up a deuce. Tyreek Smith hounding Jabari Rice. Here's Cunningham. Dessou spins right into the teeth of the defense, and he traveled. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, a must-have for Big 12 fans. With baseball and softball seasons in full swing, there's more than 200 games available, along with the early rounds of both conference tournaments. Plus, it's the home for over 600 live events and original content. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up at ESPNplus.com/Big12 now. So number 1 in black, Bryce Thompson working on Marcus Carr. Thompson still scoreless in this one. He had a dozen last night. 10 to shoot for the Pokes. And an offensive foul. Jabari Rice steps in and gets the charge.
You know, in these tournament formats, you have teams already that have played a game last night. So West Virginia earlier, nice take there by Jabari Rice. I like that call. And I thought, you know, sometimes it takes teams that haven't played yet a minute to sort of warm into the event. I thought that was the case West Virginia-Kansas. I thought West Virginia looked a little lathered, ready to go. It took Kansas a minute to get into that game. And I think it's the same here, Rich. I think Oklahoma State looks like they've played a game in this building. We'll see how it manifests as the game moves on.
And Jabari Rice gets to the bucket and gets the foul. He'll go to the free throw line. Texas 1 for their last 10 from the field.
You know, what a story Jabari Rice has been all season. I was talking to John Riley, their strength and conditioning coach, before the game. Jabari Rice showed up to Austin this summer 150 pounds. They put 25 pounds on him. He's 175 pounds right now. And I said, how did you do that? It couldn't have been just weights. He said it was mostly diet. Jabari was not eating breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. What are you doing, Jabari?
Amen.
He said he got him on a diet of about 4 French toasts every morning. He would eat throughout the day, and he started to put on weight, and he really cranked it out in the weight room. Just a hard worker.
I want that diet. Chris Budden with more.
Yeah, I'll take that diet too. You know, how he got to Texas was through Timmy Allen and his brother Teddy Allen. He had played with Teddy over at New Mexico State, and when he had 1 extra year and had been contacted by Texas, he went to Teddy Allen. He said, well, what does your brother think? He said, I've never seen Timmy happier.
Thank you, Chris. Teddy Allen, a well-traveled college basketball player, just like Timmy was, and
to say the least.
Now Jabari Rice and Timmy teaming up on a top 10 team. Say that 5 times fast. Another offensive foul drawn by the Longhorns defense, and it'll be Texas basketball. First foul on Bryce Thompson. No easy shots for the Longhorns so far. There's another tough one, but Dessou knocks it down.
Talking about a guy who's really come on. I think Dylan Dessou's finally healthy. I think he's got both feet under him in Big 12 play. Just a cerebral, really smart player.
And a nice take there. First 2 of the night. Knotted up at 15, under 8 to go in this 3rd quarterfinal in the Big 12 championship. Look at Dessou, Dipsy-do Dessou.
But if you're Moussa Cisse, you've got to keep your feet. You're okay giving that shot up to Dessou.
And now the takeaway, and Arterio Morris cashes in.
And this is where, if you're Oklahoma State, you've got to settle down, take a deep breath. When they start turning it over, it has a way of snowballing.
Thompson lost it, gave it to Texas. And Morris misses at the other end. Good opportunity for the Longhorns, gone awry.
That's
and
2.
Another 10-second call.
That's tough. I'll tell you what, Dylan Dessou has really lifted his offensive game. Doing it on the block, gives you a little face-up game as well. How about that over the length of Moussa Cisse? Then you show the ball, a little shot fake, and a little smooches off that glass.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. 1 load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Time now for a studio update. Michael Leaves with you. When you go to the ACC, must win for North Carolina against Virginia, Tom Crean.
Well, and this is why Virginia is one of the better defensive teams in the country. They got on the floor for the loose ball. Clark kicks it ahead to Beekman, bucket.
Steve Wojciechowski, let's go to the Big East. Xavier and DePaul.
DePaul is continuing the momentum from their big win last night, shooting 80% from the floor. Xavier's got to tighten up on the defensive end.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's take a look at the New York Life ACC men's tournament bracket, and my goodness, what Duke did earlier today. That was an impressive win for them.
Sure was. They're starting to play really, really well. I think they finally have established an identity, have dealt with some lack of continuity because of injuries all year. That's going to be a heck of a game tomorrow against Miami. How about Michael Eaves having to deal with the egos of Crean and Wojo in the studio tonight? Well done, Michael Eaves.
Oh, man. Next man up here in Kansas City. Joe Lunardi says Oklahoma State is in, but they could lock up an NCAA tournament bid with a big-time win coming tonight against Texas. Marcus Carr out of the timeout, and he's got his first field goal of the game. Take a look at those quad one wins. That's the biggest argument for the Cowboys.
And it should be. You know what I mean? I think it's their record, Rich. When you play in this league, you're blessed with a lot of quad one opportunities, but you end up with a record of 18-14.
Step through. Thompson with the shooter's touch. I think a lot of Cowboy fans might want to watch that North Carolina score too, because if North Carolina goes on a run, they could be, I guess, viewed as a bid stealer.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. I still think Carolina's got to win that ACC tournament to get in, to get the automatic bye. If Oklahoma State played in the ACC, they would finish in the top 3 in that league, top 2. I mean, there is no question about that. But again, it's humans in that committee room, and I think the record becomes problematic for Oklahoma State.
6 points for Dylan DeSue, and the lead is 6 for the Longhorns. The winner of this game will advance to the semifinals. They will play the winner of tonight's final quarterfinal, which is Kansas State and TCU. So if we have a sea of orange in this game, we will have a sea of purple in our nightcap tonight.
It's a silly foul. That far out from the basket, again, you're sending a team that can struggle to score to the foul line so much in this first half, and it has breathed life into this Oklahoma State offense.
We've seen a number of those silly fouls from the Texas side of things, and it's led to a number of made free throws. Now 10 for 11 from the line for the Cowboys. Wright makes them both. How about that? 11 free throws, and they have 19 points total. And they're in it. Down just 4. 5:40 to go in the first half. Rice short on the 3. Cisse had it taken away, and Dylan DeSue has been the best player for the Longhorns.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, playing his best basketball of his career. Came to Texas injured, transfer from Vanderbilt. And I thought never really got going last year, but he has really found his stride.
Grew up in Pflugerville, Texas, outside of Austin. Calls playing for the Longhorns his dream school. He's making that dream a reality now. Marcus Carr goes the length of the floor and gets fouled.
Texas wants to know why that wasn't a goaltend. That thing was up on the glass. And I don't think it was going to go in, but it was certainly hit after the ball was on the board.
Let's take another look. Carr makes the first.
And likewise, Rich, free throws and putting Oklahoma State to the line has been an issue for Texas. Turnovers, once again, a problem for Oklahoma State. It has been all year. They don't have really a point guard. It's not a great ball handling team, and it's been a real problem for them all season. Had 18 turnovers in that first matchup against Texas this year.
And it's been found money tonight. 11 free throws made by the Cowboys. They are by the numbers, second to worst in the Big 12 in free throw shooting. Seven on the shot clock. Boone puts it up, gets it back, and still can't put it in.
Tell you what, Caleb Boone looks like a shell of who he was during the season.
Carr trying to get on track, but he missed it again. And it's going to stay Texas basketball.
I mean, Caleb Boone has been one of the most productive post scorers, not just in this league, but nationally. I mean, he became a very effective scorer on the low block. He looks weak tonight.
We have a timeout on the floor, 4:22 to go. The Texas Longhorns seated second here in Kansas City have built an 8-point lead over the Cowboys. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. One load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Kevin and Fran coming up on the All-State Halftime Report. We'll show you how Kansas began defense of its Big 12 championship without Bill Self. Plus, check in on North Carolina in action in the ACC. Fran, how has Texas overcome the loss of Timmy Allen?
Well, Dylan Dessou has done a nice job in the first half. It's hard to score on Oklahoma State inside, Kevin, because of Cisse, Smith, and Boone. But Dylan Dessou is a big factor in this game early. And they need him to be because Timmy Allen, as we've talked about this week, he's a catalyst for that offense. He's out tonight. He's day-to-day with a foot injury.
Rich and Chris, we will see you for the All-State Halftime Report in about 4 minutes.
That is Mr. Connors and Mr. Frischel about, 40 feet away from us, coming up in the halftime report. You heard Fran talk about Caleb Boone. There he is on the bench, and that's where he has been the last 3 games to start the game. What do you make of his performance since he's been coming off the bench instead of in the starting lineup?
He has looked a little lost here tonight for sure, and I'm telling you, he was as tough a defend on the block as anybody in this league. I think it's worth bringing up the fact that he's not starting. I mean, that impacts everybody who's been a player knows when you're taken out of the starting lineup, that's going to have an impact.
Arterio Morris for 3.
Watching him in that last time out, he is visibly frustrated. When he got taken out, he walked out of the huddle, and players had to grab him and remind him, hey, listen to coach, still pay attention. Shaking his head, obviously frustrated by something.
Yeah, Chris, and this is a young man, Caleb Boone, who has been in a relationship with Mike Boynton ever since he was about a freshman in high school. They've known each other for years.
Well, and they're playing for their tournament lives. Grow up, get in the huddle, be about other guys. He's too good. You know, we have seen him. I've had their game against Kansas in Stillwater earlier in the season, Rich. He killed Kansas in that game to the point where Bill Self had to change their defensive scheme.
Look at those numbers. 16 first time out, 18 the next time against the Longhorns. But you look at these last 3 games. Caleb Boone didn't start in their regular season finale against TCU, or against Texas Tech rather, and he had no points in 11 minutes. And then last night He had 3 points in 12 minutes. Thompson misses. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the first half. Carr blocked by XII. One of the best in the nation in that category. A lot of dribbling for the Pokes. There's Asbury.
Not a great possession. Like you said, a lot of dribbling, and you end up with a long three.
Bounce pass goes awry, out of bounds. It'll be Oklahoma State basketball.
You know, you wonder if Moussa Cisse was healthy all year, how good a season he would have ended up having. I mean, he is just a game changer at the front of the rim. Length, and that's close. He times that perfectly. But, I mean, you have to scheme for his shot blocking, and it's not just the shots he blocks, but the shots he alters. Just a game changer.
Talked to assistant coach Scott Sutton before the game tonight, and we were talking about Cisse. He said, even though he missed a big chunk of time with that ankle injury, he's the most valuable player on this team.
Yeah.
Tyreek Smith looking for some help. Thompson off the mark, challenged. Dylan DeSue, his 4th rebound to go along with those 8 points. And there's another 3 by Arterio Morris. Largest lead of the night for the Longhorns. It's 11, now 12. Woody Newton got the shot fake and off the window.
And that's where Oklahoma State at times, particularly with Newton and Asbury out there together, they can fall in love with the three-point shot. I like pressing the action at the basket there.
Rice, shot fake. Backdoor. And Smith snares it.
Very nice cut. Change of defense there by Mike Boynton.
Asbury got caught up in the air and turned it over. Here's Morris at the other end with the throwdown. Have a night, Arterio Morris. He's in double digits with 10, and the lead is ballooned back to a dozen.
He's going to be a really good player in a Texas uniform. Could really score in high school, and he's playing with a really old team and a lot of other really good players. And so he's had to bide his time on that bench. Rodney Terry has found minutes for him in each game, but you see how explosive a scorer he can be.
He's a top 20 recruit coming out of high school. There's an answer from Caleb Asbury. $11 in the first half for number 5 in black, Caleb Asbury. And that's the Cowboys defense that we're used to seeing, and we're going the other way.
And his dunk for Morris comes off a turnover. Just, you know, it's been a real problem, those live ball turnovers. And here's Morris in the open floor. Can shoot, but he's also a fantastic athlete. Nice job getting out in front. High percentage.
So now Caleb Asbury will step to the line. Both teams spending a significant amount of time at the free throw stripe, but Asbury misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Big miss.
And now a use it or lose it timeout. We'll take a 32nd timeout. Come on back for the end of the first half.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. One load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Well, after this game is complete, Jamie Dixon and his TCU Horned Frogs will take on Kansas State in the final quarterfinal from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. That should be a terrific matchup. Both teams splitting the regular season series, Chris.
It's the rubber match. You love a rubber match. It's going to be a war. A fight in the paint to the rim.
Both teams have been in the top 25 for the majority of the season. TCU is going to go to back-to-back NCAA tournaments for the first time in 70 years. 5 seconds to go in the first half here. Rice, and you don't see that happen too often.
Well, I think the official was confused. She bought into the shot fake. She's like, he can't have traveled. No way.
That does not happen with, what did you call the shot fake a week or so ago? That captivated the nation.
It did. It's the shot fake that has captivated a country.
Good if it goes, and it's off the mark. A low-scoring first half, but it's a 9-point lead for Arterial Morris and the Texas Longhorns. They lead it as we go to break, 35-26. And again, the winner of this game will face the winner of TCU and Kansas State. To Chris.
Coach, the points were tough to come by early in that one. Where have you guys been able to find some offensive production in the last couple of minutes?
They're a really good defensive team. I mean, Mike's team played extremely hard on that end.
7 seed Oklahoma State. Courtside, back alongside Chris Spatola. I'm Rich Hollenberg. Chris Budden standing by as well. So what do you make of the first half? It feels like an Oklahoma State kind of a half, and yet Texas has a 9-point lead.
Yeah, offense was hard to come by. Marcus Carr's 1 of 6, and Texas playing without Timmy Allen. I thought Dylan Dessou and Arterial Morris jump-started that Texas offense. Dessou really around the rim. I thought he, more than just making baskets, I thought he sent kind of a message. You know, went after Musa Cisse, had some hard finishes, and then Arterial Morris. Turnovers to points and then threes. Those two guys, Morris and Dessou, combined for 18 in that first half. I thought they jump-started some offense for Texas.
Here's Chris Budden with more.
Yeah, Mike Boynton telling his team at halftime, we're playing with the pace that we won, but we got to get to the rim with more force and conviction. We've been playing an ugly game, and we kind of need to play an ugly game in order to win, but you have to be able to make layups.
Yeah, Chris, to your point, 7 for 21 from the field for Oklahoma State. They did most of their damage at the free throw line, 11 for 15 from the stripe.
And turnovers became an issue at the end of that half.
Yeah. Here's Wright, off the mark.
And that was the other thing. You know, you can be a great half-court defensive team, but I thought the turnovers leading to runouts also ignited Texas and their offense.
Here's another number that Longhorn fans will love. Texas is 16-0 when they lead at halftime. And I think Jabari Rice just heard that number.
He loves that shot, too. He's so good. When that defender goes over and his feet are set, he is so good at that three-point shot.
Asbury can't answer, but the tap back leaves Bryce Thompson alone. He hasn't found the bottom of the bucket a lot. Bodies flying there as Dylan Dessou hits the deck. They call the foul on number 1, but Dylan Dessou's one and Bryce Thompson is one.
Only one of those ones ends up on the ground.
It is Bryce Thompson, his second foul. Here's Rice in the starting lineup because no Timmy Allen tonight. Dylan Mitchell with the two-hand flush. The lead is now the largest of the night for the Horns, 14. Thompson blocked from behind, and a foul's called.
This is not well defended and not well communicated. Nice job by Dylan Mitchell just switching his screen, and I don't know what Tyreke Smith is doing there. It's kind of the lack of respect that Dylan Mitchell is garnering. You just are unconcerned about him scoring the ball, and a good find by Jabari Smith.
Well, a quiet night so far for Bryce Thompson, but it's been a real thumbs-up type of a season for him. He stepped into the role of top scorer after Avery Anderson went down. 52% from the field his last 3 games. Tonight, he's 0 for 3 from the free throw line, and now 0 for 4. Just 4 points on the night for Thompson.
I've never heard a season described as a real thumbs-up season. Did you make that up on your own?
Right on the spot, if you could believe that. As a former McDonald's All-America, you know, they had high expectations for him coming out of Tulsa. Dylan Mitchell took a shot, and that foul is going to be on Tyreke Smith. Tyrese Hunter triggers the inbounds. And a quick 2 by Jabari Rice.
You call it a quiet first half for him. He doesn't stay quiet for long. He has become a very confident scorer.
Timeout, Mike Boynton. Less than 2.5 to go.
Yeah, 23-7 in that win over Kansas on Saturday. Has become a very efficient scorer in the starting lineup here tonight. Jabari Rice doesn't miss a beat.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. 1 load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business. And there are the other purple team coming into the building tonight. It's purple on purple, the K-State Wildcats. Kansas State has been one of the best stories in college basketball this year, Chris.
They got 2 guys on the first team All Big 12 team. How about Marquise Noel, Mike Miles tonight? 2 of the best guards nationally. It's going to be a heck of a game. I'm looking forward to that. I said to Jerome Tang yesterday, I said, you got 2 guys on the first team All Big 12. That's a lot of pressure on a head coach. He said, no, it's a lot of pressure on my assistants to replace those guys.
Right. Touche, Jerome. Here in front of us, Texas, Oklahoma State, the 2nd seed with a 16-point lead. Oklahoma State struggling to find the offense. That's been a story all season for them, but they've been able to make up for it with stout defense. Not tonight.
Tell you what, Tyrese Hunter is shooting the ball better. I think his biggest improvement this year has been on the basketball. He had a reputation last year as being a great defender. He was a very good off-ball defender, good anticipator. I didn't think he was great on the ball. He has really committed this year to being a stopper, and he's been much better, I think, in the second half of Big 12 play, guarding the basketball.
Here's Dessou. Really doing work against XII. Chris, give this kid a tracksuit and some cardboard when he's going to do what he does.
There's Tyrese Hunter. He knew exactly what he did there. He's a worker, man. He's tough background, really a tough kid who's been through a lot. And it's not easy to transition from Iowa State and what he was asked to do for Iowa State, particularly offensively, to come to this team with a lot of really good players around him, a very different offensive style. And as Rodney Terry told us earlier in the season, I just need him to run our team.
Hunter has 8 tonight, and you saw some offensive signs from him in the regular season finale. Put up 20 against the Jayhawks. Thompson. And a good rebound by Dessou, who's having a good night tonight in the quarterfinals here. Carr. Asbury leads the charge for the Pokes.
Where do you go for offense? I mean, John Michael Wright has been quiet. Doesn't have a field goal in this game.
Off the mark on that three.
It's just a tough shot to get yourself going.
Again, no Avery Anderson. He's been out the last 10 games. Wrist surgery on a left wrist. They're hopeful, if they do make the NCAA tournament, that some way, somehow, Avery Anderson could come back and contribute. That remains to be seen. He's going to be reevaluated tomorrow. And in his absence, it's been a collective group effort, especially from the backcourt, but scoring-wise has always been a premium for Mike Boynton's club.
Do you think there's an upcharge for the basketballs on the cast? That's pretty sweet. Do you have to pay more for that?
Right. And college kids don't sign casts anymore. That's only younger kids do that.
Is there a cast company that's paying him an NIL deal?
These are the questions we need answered. And another foul called. There's 15:43 to go in this third of 4 quarterfinals from Kansas City. Texas up comfortably.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. 1 load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Marcus Carr, number 8 active career points, number 4 active career assists. He's had a long and successful career, but Chris, he hasn't been scoring the ball as well as he usually does lately.
No, he really hasn't. Hasn't shot it well. And look, teams are obviously gearing defenses around stopping him. You wonder if he's starting to wear down a little bit. He got off to such a tear to start the season and was really, I thought, carried them, their offense in particular, Rich, coming into the season. He's been really good all year. He's been really terrific in Big 12 play, but like you said, his shot making has not been up to his standard.
I think he took the opposite diet path that Jabari Rice did. He lost 15 pounds, and he self-proclaimed was in the best shape of his life coming into this year. No red meat, no pasta. That's no fun.
Well, there's no question he recommitted. You know, he came into the season shot out of a cannon and was really playing well. And his assist to turnover, I mean, he's still obviously very productive. It's just not the scoring numbers we were accustomed to.
You touched on him earlier. He's got 2 dimes and no assists tonight. Here's Newton, the Syracuse transfer. 7 to shoot. And Asbury didn't get the foul on that one. And Texas comes away with it. Let's go way out west, Chris Spatola, and take a look at that Pac-12 tournament and how that is shaping up. UCLA, Oregon in the first semifinal, and we are awaiting the winners of USC, Arizona State, and Arizona and Stanford. And the one team out of that group that jumps out at you if you're an Oklahoma State fan is also the Arizona State Sun Devils, who are vying for an NCAA tournament bid.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can get past a very good USC team, very good defensive USC team. And how about UCLA? You know, Bill Self telling us yesterday he thought UCLA was playing the best of anybody in the country, and now they're without Jalen Clark. Looks like for the remainder of the season. Big loss.
Rodney Terry's club up 17, looking to advance to the semifinals in Kansas City.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine, and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. 1 load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Rodney Terry, the recent recipient of the Sporting News National Coach of the Year. Obviously, if you're familiar with the story, Chris Beard was relieved of his duties and Rodney Terry took over. The team 16-7 with him at the helm, and they have a 2 seed in this tournament. And according to Joe Lunardi, Chris Spatola, they still could get a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, winning the Big 12 tournament would go a long way towards securing that.
I think if they play Kansas in the final of this tournament and they were to beat Kansas, I think the Big 12 is looking at 2 1 seeds.
With 5 on the clock, Newton had it blocked. And now 3.6 on the shot clock. That's what time remains for Oklahoma State to try and find a bucket, something they haven't done much of tonight. Inbounds, Williams off the mark, offensive board to Tyreek Smith. Caleb Asbury, the only Cowboy in double digits. He has 11. And it's taken away. Carr to Rice. This one from close range from under the basket. Good effort by Brock Cunningham, but they get him for the foul, and Tyreek Smith is grabbing his right ankle. This is adding some injury to insult for Mike Boynton's club.
I got a lot of respect for Tyreek Smith. Just does his job, has an appreciation for his role. Played really, really well last night.
Now Caleb Boone on the floor in his place. And he gets the ball 2 feet in the paint. And there's the Caleb Boone we've been looking for.
Sure is, and use that body. That was a physical finish. That was the Caleb Boone we saw for most of this season.
First 2 for Boone. And now he grabs the rebound. Working on Dessou. Came up empty that time.
What a dunk it.
What do you hear most coaches tell the big guys? Just dunk everything you get. Here's Bishop. And a foul on the floor.
But this is the Caleb Boone with a little stank on him. You put a little stank on this one right here. Let Dylan Dessou know you're there. Knock him off his spot. Clear some space. You know, that's the Caleb Boone that we've seen throughout the year.
Of course, came to Oklahoma State with his twin brother Keelan, who is now playing for Pacific, averaged 14 a game for Pacific. Here's Chris Budden with more.
When his brother transferred over to Pacific, it was the first time that they had ever been apart, and it was really difficult for the brothers. Caleb even told me, you know, I was crying on the phone to him so much that Mike Boynton had to come and step in and say, Caleb, this is your time to grow, that you don't have to be able to be there and help take care of your brother. This is a chance for you to grow up as a man. And it was that point with that conversation with Coach where he realized, hey, I can take this time where I'm just responsible for myself, grow my game, grow who I am without my brother. His brother would be here tomorrow if they're able to advance.
And Boone knocks down the first one. You spent some time at Army playing with your brother. What was that like?
Yeah, it's a special bond. There are things that you can communicate to your sibling that you wish you could communicate to all teammates, but I think it galvanizes a team. You know, that's where the injury to Moussa Cisse, you start the year, Mike Boynton has Cisse at the 5 and Boone at the 4, which was a change for Boone. He had played the 5 most of his time here, and if Cisse had stayed healthy, you wonder what that would have been like.
Tyrese Hunter has his 3rd 3 of the night. He's in double digits with 11. Thompson can't answer. Now Arterial Morris. Good first half for the freshman. Thompson working on the bigger Christian Bishop. Newton. Here's Hunter again, short this time. Oklahoma State looking to string together buckets for the first time in a long time. That 3 off the mark, good hustle by Bryce Thompson, and a foul on Christian Bishop.
Tyrese Hunter, 3 threes in this game tonight, 3 of 4. A guy who's really caught fire of late from deep. He is wet. Rich Hollenberg.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories. From inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. One load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
This has really been the growth for Tyrese Hunter offensively, a guy who did not shoot it well last year at Iowa State, really struggled early in the season, but he has really rounded out his game, attacking the basket and then knocking down this three ball, almost changing the scouting report against him. Rich, Texas tonight plus 15 from the three-point line. It's been obviously a major difference in this game.
Yeah, they're also 16-1 points off turnovers, 10-1 in the fast break department. It has been a dominating performance, and Tyrese Hunter, who came into this game 11 for his last 22 from three-point range, is shooting at a positive clip again tonight, 3 for 4. Coming up on 11 minutes to go. That's what stands between Texas and a date in the semifinals with either Kansas State or TCU. And a quick foul on the freshman Keon Williams. And now Texas will be shooting 1-1 for the remainder of this contest until they get to the double bonus.
In other words, they're going to be at the foul line a lot over the next 11
the rest of the night. And Carr, after missing his first 2 free throws tonight, has made his last 3. Dylan Mitchell on, Christian Bishop off for Rodney Terry. Carr cans them both. First all Big 12 first-team player for Texas since Isaiah Taylor 7 years ago. Jabari Rice does not look like he's playing for a team that's up 18 right now. Here's Williams. Wraps it around, and another wrap around. XII just kind of throws it up against the rim. And a fresh 20 for the Pokes. They got the board. XII, another offensive rebound. And John Michael Wright finally hits a 3-ball.
XII doing work, a lot of dribbling. I mean, couple possessions there that didn't really go anywhere, but you get the work from XII leading to the 3.
Dessou can't answer from close range 2 times.
Yeah, that's where, we've talked about XII shot blocking. It's his rebounding as well, particularly on the offensive end. They're just buying extra possessions, and John Michael Wright, a guy that we haven't said his name much tonight. It's kind of an offense, Rich, that needs the collective. They need Thompson to score. They need Wright. They need Asbury making shots. And just haven't gotten it tonight.
Dessou in double digits with 10 now. And he's got 11 rebounds to go along with that. His 13th double-double of his career. Rice is up in the grill of Caleb Asbury with a smile on his face, no less. Here's XII. Couldn't get it to go. Swallowed up by the Longhorns D. Thompson way off. Step through. And John Michael Ray, that's back-to-back buckets.
And XII is doing work. He is the one keeping these possessions alive and giving these guards a lot of opportunities at the rim.
Still a lot of time left, coming up on 9 minutes to go, but you have to wonder where the points are going to come from if you're Oklahoma State. And Marcus Carr whistled for the foul. We've got you covered on Selection Sunday. It's right around the corner. It all starts at noon Eastern on ESPN with college basketball live to prep the day. Then at 6, Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by Bracketology with breakdowns of each region. Then at 8 Eastern, the women's field is revealed with continuing coverage on ESPNU at 9. And then at 10 o'clock, even more coverage of both brackets, everything also streaming on the ESPN app.
Big win for Rutgers today. They needed that. Team that has really struggled down the stretch here after they lost Mawat Mag to that ACL injury, lost 6 of their last 8. Big win over Michigan today, and a tough loss. Definitely knocked Michigan out of the tournament.
We have it from the mobile newsroom and our producer Joe McCoy that North Carolina is down 5 now, winding down in that contest. Carr in and out. And a big rebound by Newton, but a loose ball. And Oklahoma State manages to come away with it.
Dylan Dessou never stops working. I mean, he never stops moving.
Carr almost picked the pocket. Thompson can't do it himself.
They just can't create easy shots. I mean, they're just tough shots.
Dessou off the mark.
There are times when Dessou looks like a deer right out of the womb, though. His balance sometimes looks a little bit awkward, but he just plays so hard.
Here's Wright off the mark. Looked a little surprised to get that ball that time. Minutes left alongside Chris Spatola and Chris Budden. Rich Hollenberg on hand. This is the third of 4 quarterfinals here at the Big 12 Championship in Kansas City. Coming up after this, stick and stay because we have Kansas State and TCU. And we're expecting a barn burner in that one, Mr. Spatola.
Yes, we are.
10 to shoot. Newton, air ball. And Rodney Terry wants to talk it over. 6:18 to go. Don't go anywhere, please. 15-point lead for Texas.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. One load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Michael Leaves here with your studio update. Championship week in full effect across the ESPN family of networks. Over on ESPN, must-win situation for North Carolina against Virginia there in the ACC. Arkansas taking on Auburn, the SEC network down there in Nashville. Tulsa, Wichita State in the American. And how about a break from basketball if you'd want to do that right now? The best team in any sport right now, the Bruins taking on Oilers on ESPN+. But Rich, Chris, I want you guys to know the only game I'm really watching is yours.
Tom, I can verify. We do appreciate that, Michael Leaves. Listen, basketball fans know just from watching it, this has been a tough watch, but it does show you just how staunch these defenses are in the Big 12. And speaking of good defenses, TCU's coming up against Kansas State, and both of those teams play good D.
They could also score.
Yes.
You know, those are two good teams. Certainly teams that could make a Sweet 16 and potentially beyond. And, you know, obviously getting Mike Miles back has been a huge, huge difference maker for TCU. Do you believe Michael?
Yes. He's a man of his word, and he's stuck in the studio. He has multiple monitors going. One of our game is on one of those monitors. So let's talk big picture, Chris. Out of the projected field right now, who do you think maybe could rise up and surprise some people, that a school that maybe nobody's talking that much about?
You know, some of these mid-major teams, like an Oral Roberts, who has been in the tournament, they have DNA there. Paul Mills has done an unbelievable job with that team this year and that program. A Charleston, you know, Pat Kelsey's program. You know, these are teams, Rich, that are old. They have NCAA tournament DNA. Colgate winning the Patriot League. They shoot a lot of threes. I mean, that's in the third straight NCAA tournament for them. These are the kind of teams that if you're looking for upsets early round, those are the ones to keep an eye on.
Caleb Boone for 3. And would you believe it? That's his second three-pointer made all season. I watched a little of that Summit League championship game, Oral Roberts. They slaughtered that league this year.
But how about the coaching tree of Scott Drew?
Yeah.
You know, I was reading something earlier today that obviously Texas Tech has a vacancy now, and Grant McCaslin at North Texas, who was an assistant for Scott Drew when they won, you know, that national championship, or was an assistant leading up to that national championship. Scott Drew sent him a ring, actually, when he was the head coach at North Texas, just for all the work he had done for Scott as an assistant. And then, of course, Paul Mills, part of the Scott Drew tree. He's got quite the coaching tree going.
Yeah. I don't know this for sure, so I apologize for not having my facts 100%, but you would have to assume Paul Mills was the coach of the year in the Summit Conference.
No question.
And Jerome Tang, the coach of the year in the Big 12. Both of those assistant coaches at Baylor at one point or another. And you can make the case, you talked about Grant McCaslin, you can make the case that he was deserving, except Dusty May and FAU had a terrific year too.
You know, the point was for Texas Tech's vacancy, McCaslin and Mills are rumored to be the front runners. So you'd have Scott obviously in the league, and then two of his former assistants as head coaches.
He hated it when Jerome Tang took the Kansas State job. Imagine if that happens.
Well, that's the thing with Jerome Tang. One of the reasons Jerome Tang has been so good this year is he was an assistant for 19 years. And it wasn't like he didn't have offers. He was waiting for the right place, but he was using that time to learn what it meant to be a head coach. I mean, it just, you know, there's something to be said for biding your time and paying your dues. Everybody wants that head coaching job so quickly, and I think Jerome Tang went about it the right way.
Yeah. There are dudes who can win you the press conference, and then there are dudes who can win you basketball games. Jerome Tang's done both. I loved what he said when he first took that job. He said, I'm not here to rebuild, I'm here to elevate. Just great words. His Wildcats coming up after the conclusion of this game against TCU. The winner will advance to the semifinals to play the Texas Longhorns. 5 on the shot clock, blocked by Boone. And an offensive foul called on Caleb Asbury.
Jabari Rice never stops playing. He's as fierce a competitor as this league has. I was talking to Bob Donewald before their TCU game that you and I had. And he was kind of the point man in getting Jabari from New Mexico State to Texas. And he was talking to him. He said, look, we're not recruiting you to be a starter. We're going to bring you off the bench. And Jabari said, that's fine. I want to win. And if you want to win like I do, you're going to have me in at the ends of games.
Hunter. And the rebound to Caleb Boone again. Well, he's earned it. I mean, from Jump Street, he's earned it. And he, him coming off the bench, I know he started tonight. Nice flyby for Caleb Boone with the dunk. But Jabari Rice has been one of the main reasons that Texas's bench has been so good this year. And I know you've said this before. The bench and the depth of the Texas Longhorns are a big reason why they're so good. Back-to-back dunks for the Cowboys. And there's some life left in them pokes. .347 to go, and just a 10-point Texas lead now. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Discover everything boating at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Over $1.2 billion in yachts, boats, and accessories, from inflatables to the most luxurious super yachts in the world. Seminars, live music, cuisine, and beverages from more than 100 vendors. A true VIP experience. The Palm Beach International Boat Show, March 23rd through 26th, downtown West Palm. pbboatshow.com.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Do it. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum Plus and save water. One load of dishes in the sink uses 24 gallons of water, while a dishwasher uses less than 4 per cycle. That means even small loads can save water. And up to $130 a year on your utility bill. For sparkling clean dishes, run your dishwasher every night with Cascade, the surprising way to save water and your wallet.
Michael Eaves, Tom Crean with the studio update. Down in the ACC, Tom, North Carolina not getting what it needed against Virginia.
No, Armand Franklin goes by, uses the glass. Up 7 under a minute to go. Up 9 under a minute to go.
NCAA tournament wishes for North Carolina likely over.
Thank you, Michael. And obviously the Oklahoma State Cowboys coming into tonight, Chris Spatola, are in, according to Joe Lunardi, and they're back in this game.
Yeah, nice little run here, and Caleb Boone has kind of sparked it. The 3 there, then he comes down, nice athletic finish at the rim, and then, the pressure starting to maybe put Texas on their heels. A turnover there leading to the run out. We'll see out of the timeout if Texas has sort of re-engaged themselves in this game.
Caleb Boone has been a spark. 9 points, all in the second half, and 7 rebounds to go along with it. To shoot. Carr, challenge 3, and a late foul called on Keon Williams. That's the 3rd time Oklahoma State's fouled by on the arc.
It is, and it's just, it's a freshman, obviously not a smart play here. You do not have to leave your feet. Just get a hand up. We've talked about how Marcus Carr's really struggled from 3, and there's 7 on the shot clock. If you're Mike Boynton, all you could do is just kind of shake your head. And with Chris Harris Jr. out tonight, with that injury he suffered last night, they've had to play the freshman Keon Williams a little bit more tonight than he has typically played.
All but 2 of Marcus Carr's points tonight have come from the free throw line.
1 of 9 though from the field. They got to get him going. Or he's got to get himself going. We always put it on the coaches.
2 for 3. XII the rebound. Asbury knows the follow by Boone. Where has this been the last 3.5 games?
That's good. If you're Texas, you play these like 2 different possessions. Break the pressure and then set yourself up.
Backdoor. Knocked out of bounds. And is that going to be Oklahoma State basketball? Yes, it is. So now a chance to cut that Texas lead to single digits. They led by as many as 18.
Wow. I mean, this is not a good decision. I don't know what Rodney Terry said. I assume he wanted a foul on that last play, but the last thing that you wanted right now was a technical foul.
So Mike Boynton sends an 86% free throw shooter to the line. And here's a look from almost clear across the court. Amy Bonner teed him up.
I mean, he wasn't that demonstrative. It must have been something he said specifically. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he said. It's a bad timing on that technical, and it came from across the court.
So 1 for 2 for Asbury. The lead is 9 for the Longhorns.
Oh, wow.
And no whistle there.
That's a foul. And they've already given him 2 in this game.
.220 to go. Went from a Longhorns blowout to Texas trying to hang on in advance. Here's Rice hiding behind Dylan Dessou. And then the blow by.
He's so good at that. He is so good at playing behind that screen. And teams go under, and he will shoot that. But what a drive there.
Four Longhorns in double digits. 10 to shoot for the Cowboys. And we're going the other way.
I mean, that's egregious. That was absolutely a foul. And I don't blame Mike Boynton.
Carl takes some air out of the basketball. 15 to shoot. Rice to the hole again. This time a bounce pass. Juggled and lost. Oklahoma State And the reach in on Carr. Well, credit the Oklahoma State Cowboys for not showing any signs of quitting in a game like this. Not that you would expect that to happen, but they were down by 18 in the second half and now gave themselves at least a puncher's chance. And you see Mike Boynton talking to Kip Kissinger about that lack of a call.
Well, it's an interesting turnaround because they missed one of the technical free throws, and then you would have had 3 free throws there. It's just, you know, it's a big missed call.
(16 for Asbury, 9 for 11 from the stripe. Now full court pressure. Rice hesitated, if only for a moment.
Where are you going? I mean, I know it's a 3-on-1, but at this point you're playing against the clock.
Some questionable decisions by the Longhorns in the waning moments of this one. Under a minute to go. They lead by 9. Boone gave it away.
Wow.
And Caleb Boone whistled for the foul. So Jabari Rice will step to the line. He has 13. Now 14. He's one of 4 Longhorns in double digits, just like Dylan Dessou, who is our Phillips 66 player of the game. First double-double of the season, 14th of his career. Asbury off the mark. Rebound to Rice. And Oklahoma State will have to go back to Stillwater and wait till Selection Sunday to find out their fate. Coming into tonight, Joe Lunardi said they were in. One of the last 4 in, though. So they sit tenuously and await to see if they'll be returning to the dance. Texas will advance to the Big 12 tournament semifinals, and they will await the winner of our next game here inside the T-Mobile Center between Kansas State and TCU. And Marcus Carr hits the 3-pointer with time running out.
Yeah, not sure that was necessary.
And he heard it from the crowd. So the final score, the 2 seed Texas Longhorns win it by a final of 60-47 over Oklahoma State. We'll take an updated look at our tote board in the first semifinal tomorrow. Number 1 Kansas, number 5 seed Iowa State. And now number 2 Texas has advanced. They will play at 9:30 Eastern against either the 3 seed Kansas State Wildcats or the 6 seed TCU Horned Frogs. Coming up next, Kevin Connors, Fran Fraschilla will be by with the College Basketball Live Scoreboard Show. For Chris Patola and Chris Budden, this is Rich Hollenberg saying so long for now from Kansas City.